In the next 2 days, President Donald Trump will decide whether or not to invade Syria and attack Bashar al-Assad for the alleged chemical weapons attack that occurred in Ghouta, allegedly killing over 100 people. The media, the bloodthirsty media, is playing their part to a T. Bill Kristol is out there praising Mike Pompeo, a member of the Trump administration, for long advocating for war against Bashar al-Assad. Chuck Todd on Meet the Press is gleeful about all of this, knowing that if President Donald Trump betrays his America First agenda, then the base will retaliate against him going into the 2018 midterms. Kevin Boyd, a libertarian, even said, "The U.S. must topple the Assad regime." Isn't that great that libertarians and neocons are now working together? Because there's really only one party, the establishment, and the establishment wants war. Now we have to ask ourselves, how did this happen? John Kerry, our former Secretary of State in 2014, assured us, along with Tim Kaine, that Bashar al-Assad didn't have chemical weapons anymore because of John Kerry's brilliant diplomacy. Bashar al-Assad was disarmed. Remember that? Whatever happened to that? So how did Bashar al-Assad get these weapons? And more importantly, why did Bashar al-Assad allegedly carry out this attack? On March 22nd, the BBC ran the headline, "Assad defeats the rebels in Ghouta." 7 days later, President Donald Trump said that he was planning on withdrawing from Syria because ISIS had been defeated. That would have left Assad in power. So why, on God's green earth, would Bashar al-Assad launch a chemical weapons attack against his own people and risk bringing the United States military into war against him? Well, we have some new information about that. On March 13th, the Russian general Valery Gerasimov said the following. This is very important. "We have credible information that militants are now preparing to stage the use of chemical weapons on civilians by the Syrian government forces. For this goal, the militants have brought to eastern Ghouta people, including women, children, and elders from other areas. These people have to play victims of this staged chemical attack. The white helmets with their cameramen are already there for live broadcasts." Nikki Haley, our neocon UN ambassador, recently met with the white helmets. What are the white helmets? The white helmets, according to insiders, are a pro-extremist, anti-Assad, pro-rebel group that creates propaganda. And, the white helmets, were posting some photos from this alleged chemical attack, and they were not wearing any protective gear or any face masks or gloves when they were responding to this chemical attack that's totally against their own guidelines. Interesting. So why is the entire establishment circling the wagons on this? Why do they want to take down Bashar al-Assad so badly? As with most of these things, the answer has to do with oil. When John Kerry was Secretary of State, he met with the King of Saudi Arabia, King Abdullah, at the King's Palace on the Red Sea, and they made a secret agreement that not many people know about. The Saudis would offer some help for U.S. attacks on ISIS, but in return, the United States had to commit to toppling the Assad regime. And in fact, that became a major priority for President Obama and his right-hand foreign policy guy, Ben Rhodes, who, by the way, has a master's in creative writing, fiction writing, from NYU. In July 2011, Syria, Iran, and Iraq signed a historic deal to create a $10 billion pipeline that would bring oil from Iran to Syria, putting Bashar al-Assad at the center of the Middle East oil trade. The next month, Bashar al-Assad announced a gas well near Homs, and the major company Gazprom announced that they would be investing in Syrian oil fields. Obviously, the Sunnis in Saudi Arabia don't like that very much. Saudi Arabia wants to monopolize the Middle Eastern oil trade, as they have for years. And they also want to take out Vladimir Putin and move in on Putin's European Union oil market. So my question to President Donald Trump is the following. Sir, how many lives, how much blood, and how much treasure are you willing to spend fighting another Bush and Obama oil war in the Middle East? How many trillions of dollars are you prepared to spend, sir, once Assad falls and we inevitably go into a nation-building experiment for years and years and years, just like in Iraq? I want to read for you guys a statement that was sent to me by an Iraq War veteran. He was responding to S.E. Cupp, who is some kind of talk show host on CNN's minor league network. And she told President Donald Trump to be a man and stand up to Putin and Assad. This is what this gentleman in Alaska said to me and to S.E. Cupp. No, there is no amount of Syrian children worth one drop of American blood. I served in Iraq, S.E., multiple tours. You're young enough to volunteer to fight with the Syrian rebels. How about you go, instead of cheerleading me and my friends to go and fight another pointless war? This man says, I was in the stand in Iraq. All the children in Syria aren't worth the loss of one brother or sister in arms. These people, even if they were rid of Assad today, they would destroy themselves anyway. They are brainwashed from day one to hate and kill. Our kids are playing with toys. Theirs are murdering. President Donald Trump, do not become responsible for another Iraq.